The moon hung low in the night sky, casting an otherworldly glow on the abandoned mansion nestled 10 miles north of Toronto. Intrigued by the mysterious allure of the decaying structure, my friends, Chad, Brad, and I, decided to embark on a journey to explore its secrets. Little did we know that this adventure would plunge us into the depths of terror. As we approached the mansion, its silhouette loomed against the open grass plain, surrounded by pine trees that acted as both a natural fence and a shroud of secrecy. The gravel driveway crunched beneath our footsteps as we made our way to the front of the unfinished house. It was as if construction had halted abruptly, leaving only the skeletal frame of what could have been a magnificent residence. Our mutual friend, the source of our curiosity, had mentioned a back window left unlocked, an entry point that beckoned us into the heart of the abandoned mansion. Crawling through the kitchen window one by one, we found ourselves inside a place that time had forgotten. The kitchen greeted us with an eerie calm, interrupted only by a few cabinet doors strewn on the floor. It was almost immaculate, a snapshot frozen in time, except for the signs of an interrupted construction project. Undeterred, we ventured into the vast living room, transitioning seamlessly into a dining room and a wide hallway adorned with at least 10 mysterious doors. Chad and Brad dispersed to explore the rooms down the hallway, while I lingered in the living room, captivated by the haunting beauty of the abandoned mansion. The air held a stillness that seemed to defy the passage of years. As I traversed the hallway, peering into bedrooms frozen in time, my excitement turned to trepidation. At the end of the hall, a 3-door garage awaited, and just before it, a door leading to the basement. A spiral staircase descended into darkness, concealing secrets we were about to unveil. Intrigued by the unknown, I called out to Chad and Brad, notifying them of my descent into the enigmatic depths. The basement revealed itself as a sprawling expanse, unfinished, raw, and vast enough to harbor secrets. A peculiar back room concealed storage containers, each holding a piece of the abandoned mansion's history. As I lifted the lids, the first 2 containers revealed building tools, but the third harbored an unsettling surprise. A whisper, faint and chilling, emanated from the container. Startled, I bent to lift the lid, only to find it raising on its own accord. The darkness within seemed to breathe, and as I strained to peer inside, a ghostly figure emerged, a smiling woman with a voice that echoed, "Peekaboo." My instincts propelled me backward, and in the blink of an eye, the basement door slammed shut, locking me inside this abyss of uncertainty. Panic gripped me as I banged on the door, pleading with Chad and Brad to release me. The creaking of the spiral staircase below echoed like the footsteps of a phantom drawing closer. The basement door finally swung open, revealing Chad's concerned face. Relief washed over me, but the horror lingered. I glanced back and saw the ghostly woman, pale and smiling, ascending the staircase. Slamming the door shut, we bolted from the mansion, leaving behind the haunting echoes of our encounter. Outside, hearts pounding, we huddled at the edge of the property, grappling with the reality of our shared nightmare. After an hour of contemplation in my car, we decided to return to the mansion, intending to unlock the basement door. As we entered, the door stood wide open, contradicting the memory of our previous escape. The mansion, with its ghostly secrets, was left behind, a chilling chapter never to be revisited. Exploration can lead to unexpected encounters with the supernatural. When faced with the unknown, trust your instincts and prioritize your safety. Some mysteries are best left untouched, and the line between curiosity and danger is often blurred. If you must explore abandoned places, be prepared for the possibility that you might encounter more than you bargained for. In the realm of the supernatural, caution is your greatest ally. It was a picturesque neighborhood where well-manicured lawns and grand houses defined the landscape. Nestled among them was a mansion that stood in stark contrast to the modest houses surrounding it. As a young kid growing up in this upper-middle-class enclave, I couldn't help but be intrigued by the imposing structure that loomed just across the street. The mansion, with its Victorian architecture and ivy-covered walls, seemed frozen in time, Rumors circulated among the neighborhood kids about its haunted history, a tale of tragedy and mysterious happenings that only fueled our fascination. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the street, my curiosity morphed into something far more sinister. One evening, as I gazed out of my bedroom window, I noticed a flicker of movement in the mansion's uppermost window. Intrigued, I focused my attention on the spot and froze when I saw him. A young boy, no older than myself, standing behind the glass. His eyes met mine, and a shiver ran down my spine. Strangely, he seemed to be observing me with an intensity that transcended the barriers between the living and the dead. Fear gripped my young heart, and I rushed to tell my parents about the eerie sighting. They dismissed it as an overactive imagination, a byproduct of the spooky stories that circulated among the neighborhood kids. But as the days passed, the boy in the mansion's window became a fixture of my nightly routine. His silent gaze, unwavering and haunting, left an indelible mark on my psyche. One afternoon, unable to resist the pull any longer, I mustered the courage to approach the mansion's owner, a reclusive figure known for rarely leaving the confines of his eerie abode. His eyes, tired and burdened, met mine as I inquired about the boy in the window. A heavy silence hung in the air before he reluctantly revealed the chilling truth. The boy had passed away over a decade ago, a victim of a tragic accident that claimed the lives of his family. The mansion, once a vibrant home, now harbored the residual echoes of their untimely demise. The revelation sent shivers down my spine, the connection between the living and the deceased now irrefutable. Despite the grim truth, my nightly encounters with the ghostly boy persisted. His presence transcended the boundaries of the physical world, and as he watched me, a sense of sorrow and longing emanated from those ethereal eyes. I felt like a spectator to a tragedy that had unfolded long before my time, yet its impact lingered in the present. As the days turned into weeks, the mansion became a place of dread, its dark history casting a pall over the once charming neighborhood. I grappled with the unsettling realization that the boy's gaze was not mere observation but an attempt to communicate, a plea for recognition from the realm beyond. One fateful night, as I lay in bed, the boy's visage appeared not in the window across the street but at the foot of my bed. His eyes bore into mine with an intensity that transcended the barriers of the afterlife. A whispered voice echoed in my mind, sharing the pain of a life cut short and the yearning for closure. The encounter left me paralyzed, caught between the living and the dead. The mansion's owner, realizing the profound connection, approached me with a solemn expression. "He's reaching out to you for a reason," he murmured, "a chance to set things right." With trepidation, I ventured into the mansion, guided by an otherworldly force. The air within was heavy with sorrow as I moved through the darkened halls. In the room where the tragedy had unfolded, the boy's presence became palpable, and I felt the weight of a decade-long yearning for peace. As I stood in that haunted space, a sense of resolution washed over me. The boy's spirit, finally acknowledged, flickered like a fading candle before dissipating into the unknown. The mansion, once a bastion of restless spirits, embraced a profound stillness. The neighborhood returned to its tranquil existence, the mansion now a mere relic of a haunting past. But the advice I offer to those who hear this tale echoes through the lingering whispers of the afterlife. Acknowledge the shadows that dwell in the corners of your perception, for sometimes they are the echoes of stories that demand to be heard. The connection between the living and the deceased is a fragile thread that, when acknowledged, can lead to redemption and closure. The haunted mansion across the street taught me that sometimes the veil between life and death is thin, and glimpses of the afterlife can offer not just fear, but an opportunity for healing. The mansion stood like a silent sentinel against the night, its grandeur illuminated by the soft glow of the moon. As the door closed behind me, enveloping the opulence within, I couldn't help but feel a shiver down my spine. hired to house sit for a wealthy family. Little did I know that the looming shadows would turn this luxurious abode into a nightmarish maze. The first few nights passed uneventfully. The mansion echoed with creaks and groans, the sounds of a sleeping giant settling into its slumber. I roamed the spacious rooms, admiring the lavish decor, and trying to shake off the eerie feeling that lingered in the air. But it wasn't until the third night that the tranquility shattered. A soft knock echoed through the hallway, interrupting the silence of the night. Startled, I opened the door to find a woman standing on the threshold, a mop in hand. She introduced herself as the cleaning lady and claimed to have a late-night schedule to avoid disturbing the family. Unease settled in my stomach as I struggled to recall any mention of a cleaning arrangement. Politely declining her services, I watched her retreat into the mansion's depths. A subtle feeling of dread lingered, like a fog settling over the grandeur. I decided to call the family to confirm, only to discover that no such cleaning arrangement had ever been made. Panic clawed at the edges of my composure as I realized an intruder had infiltrated the mansion. The mansion, once a symbol of luxury, now became a labyrinth of uncertainty. Each creak in the floorboards, every distant echo, heightened my awareness of the unseen threat. The night wore on, and I found myself checking every room, every corner, paranoia wrapping around me like a suffocating cloak. It was when the clock struck midnight that I heard a muffled sound beneath my bed. A gasp caught in my throat as I knelt down, lifting the bed skirt to reveal two pairs of eyes staring back at me. Intruders, their faces etched with a sinister determination, met my horrified gaze. The air turned thick with tension as we locked eyes in a silent standoff. Without a word, the intruders emerged from their hiding place, revealing the twisted grins that adorned their faces. Their intentions remained shrouded in mystery, but malice radiated from their every move. I stumbled backward, realizing the precariousness of my situation. The mansion, once a haven of luxury, now echoed with the footsteps of the unwanted. Panic set in as I raced through the corridors, pursued by the malevolent figures. The grandeur had transformed into a claustrophobic maze, my breaths echoing in the silence, each turn leading to a dead end. In the heart of the mansion, I confronted the intruders, my fear replaced by a surge of adrenaline. Their laughter echoed through the opulent halls as they circled me like vultures closing in on their prey. The mansion, once a symbol of wealth, now harbored a darkness that defied its facade. Just as I braced for the inevitable, a blinding light flooded the room. The intruders recoiled, their sinister grins replaced by expressions of shock. The family had returned unexpectedly, catching the intruders off guard. The mansion, once a battleground, now stood witness to the swift justice of its true occupants. As the police took the intruders away, the family expressed their gratitude, oblivious to the horror that had unfolded within their opulent walls. I, however, was left with the haunting memories of that night, a stark reminder that even the most luxurious havens can harbor the darkest secrets. Dear listener, beware the illusions of luxury. No fortress, regardless of its grandeur, is immune to the intrusion of shadows. Before you find solace in opulence, ensure that the walls around you aren't concealing the whispers of malevolence. Trust your instincts, for the unseen threats may lurk where you least expect. In the tapestry of luxury, threads of danger may weave silently, waiting to unravel at the most unexpected moment.